You're one of my favorite people to talk to about marketing, especially when it comes to content and social media. But I've kind of seen a shift in your narrative. You've kind of stopped talking about like content is king and more you've been talking about distribution. When you talk about distribution, can you go into the actual nitty gritty? Like, what does that mean?
Let's do it. You just press publish on a great piece of content. It's going to resonate with your audience, and you know that it's going to increase the amount of people who are knocking on sales doors to talk to them, and it's going to generate some engagement. So what do? As I mentioned, most people will just do a couple tweets, a share on LinkedIn, and call it a day. A smart distribution engine has planned prior to pressing publish what their distribution efforts are going to look like from day 1 all the way through to day 140. What does that mean? It means on day 1, you're going to take that asset and you're going to share it on Twitter. You're going to write a Twitter thread to support that asset. And in that last tweet, you're going to link to it. It means that you're going to take a screenshot of a tweet around this thing and you're going to share that maybe on LinkedIn with a link in the comments to that same article. You're going to email every single person who you mention in that article so they see it and they can reshare it and they can message you and talk about it and have some conversations behind closed doors. You're going to share it in your internal Slack channel with a message that you've already crafted so you can get the internal team to support it. In that message, you're going to link to the Twitter tweet that actually promotes it. You're going to link to the LinkedIn post that promotes it. You're going to link to the Facebook post that promotes it. And ideally, people on your team are going to amplify it, link, like it, share it, etc., all within the first 30 minutes of this piece going live. You're then going to send a DM to a few of your friendlies, best clients, best customers, besties on the internet, and you're going to ask them to retweet it on social as well. This is all happening within the first 60 minutes of this piece of content being live. At this point, you're going to go grab some coffee, you're going to come back to your desk, and then you're going to put up potentially a quick video or something on your LinkedIn saying, we just pressed publish on this piece of content, check it out. I think you folks are going to enjoy it and you're going to like it. While all of this is happening, your sales team should be nurturing old relationships and saying, check out this piece that we just published, and then people are re-engaged with this content. This is all happening on day 1, because on day 2, the life cycle of your article is not dead. You are reaching out to a few newsletters and people who run newsletters, asking them if they think your article is worth sharing in their newsletter. So then you have them promoting your article in their newsletter, maybe not on the same day, but maybe over the next 7, 6, 14 days or whatever that may be. Then you potentially get plugged there. You're also going into a handful of niche Slack communities where your audience is spending time and you're sharing the content in those Slack communities. You're also keeping an eye on whether or not there's a dialogue or a conversation happening in Reddit about this niche, about this topic, so you can be the first person to drop a comment on that post with a link to the article that you just published in this. This is happening between day 4 and let's say 25. In addition to all of this happening, you are going to reshare it on Twitter. You don't just publish a post once and call it a day. You're resharing it on Twitter probably the same day as well as the day after, because the people who are on Twitter in the morning aren't the same people who are on Twitter at night. Now, in addition to all of this, you're going into Facebook groups and you're looking for people who are, again, in your target audience, asking questions, looking for answers, and you're going to do something very different than most people. Most people will share a link in a Facebook group and then wonder why they just got blocked and banned from the group. Instead, what you're going to do is you are going to drop as much value and knowledge as possible in the comment section on a post that somebody has shared relevant to this article. You're going to be very humble and you're going to say, I got so much value out of this conversation a few weeks ago, I decided to revisit it. Here's a piece that I published about it, and here are a few takeaways. You're not going to make them click to get those takeaways. You're going to include that in the summary on the post. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, Ross, one, you're talking too fast and I can't keep up. So I'm going to slow down and I'm going to say, here's what you need to know about content distribution. You create a piece once and you distribute forever. The opportunities to take an asset that is good and spread it is literally endless and infinite. All it requires is a little bit of hard work and a whole bunch of creativity and the commitment to adding value to the people on the other end. I could keep going.
No, I know you can. This is why you're here. This is why you're here. That's 5 minutes of a playbook, which I hope people, if you're listening, will go back and map out and go to Ross's Twitter and you can find all this stuff. I have a bunch of follow-ups Number one is there's like levels of this distribution plan, right? I don't want people to listen to this and take every single piece of content and post it in somebody else's Slack group. I
Right.
really think that you have to pick and choose your spots.
100%.
Similar to like social media, right? If you give value 8 out of 10 times on social media when you ask for something, meaning, hey, sign up for this thing, or here's this thing my company is doing, the response to those things is going to be way higher. It's like if you're in the Facebook group, on Reddit, in Slack every other week, it's not going to work. Like I would say that there's maybe once a month where you can do this effectively, but I think that there's a subsection of like, if you laid out all the things that you talked about, there's almost different kind of engines here, right? There's like, this is the big bang product launch, this is a big piece of content we've been working on for a while, but then there's the stuff that you can do for every single post is social media, because of the kind of like ephemeral, more ephemeral nature.